Welcome back to the Digital Sleuth, where we pull back the curtain on the hidden wars of the digital age. Today, we are stepping into a world that feels like a fever dream. Imagine a city living between worlds, half alive and half wounded, submerged in layers of foreign interests and shadow actors. This was Beirut in the early 1980 seconds. In these broken streets, a young man was watching. He wasn't holding a rifle. He was observing how power moved in the shadows, and how the world's most elite agencies could be blinded by their own technology. They called him the Ghost of Beirut. Imad Mughniya, a man who mastered the architecture of invisibility long before we had a name for it. But this isn't just a history lesson. This is a cybercrime documentary about the blueprint for modern digital warfare, and how one man's doctrine evolved into the sophisticated hacks we see today. I am the Digital Sleuth. And today, we are going deep into the labyrinth to see how the shadows of the past are haunting our digital future. To understand the ghost, you have to understand the wreckage he climbed out of. Early 80 seconds, Lebanon was a meat grinder, a place where every destroyed wall told a story. Mughniya didn't emerge from a vacuum. He was a product of a country crushed by invasion and foreign interference, where survival was the only language people understood. While the CIA and Mossad were relying on satellites and high-tech listening posts, Mughniya was building something far more resilient. He was building human terrain. He realized that technology is a double-edged sword. If you use a radio, it can be intercepted. If you use a phone, it can be traced. So, he simply erased himself. He moved through rooftop passages and underground tunnels that didn't exist on any map. He became a master of social camouflage, learning that visibility in a war zone is a death sentence. This invisibility is exactly what we see in the most dangerous cybercrime documentary cases today. Think about Advanced Persistent Threat Groups, or APTs. These aren't just hackers in basements. These are disciplined organizations that operate with that same ghost philosophy. They don't use flashy software that triggers alarms. They use living off the land techniques, using your own computer's legitimate tools against it. Just like Mughniya used Beirut's geography to hide, modern hackers hide inside your own operating system's code. In the intelligence world, we call this tradecraft. It is the fundamental difference between a common thief and a phantom. By the mid-1980 seconds, Western intelligence believed their technology gave them an impenetrable advantage. They had the maps, the sensors, and the budgets, but they underestimated the silence of the alleyways. They were trying to play a local game with foreign instincts, and they were losing. This is where we bridge the gap into the modern world of internet mysteries and dark web scams. Mughniya's organization perfected social engineering decades before it became a buzzword. They didn't just hack systems. They hacked people. They built a system where every shopkeeper and street vendor became a decentralized warning network. Today, we see this in major phishing attacks. In 2024 and 2025, we have seen an explosion in business email compromise, or BEC. Modern fraudsters don't just send a virus. They spend weeks observing a target. Just like Mughniya observed the CIA station in Beirut, they learn the rhythm of the company, the tone of the CEO's voice, and the timing of financial transfers. Then, they strike when you least expect it. The financial fraud mechanics are terrifyingly efficient. These digital ghosts use decentralized finance and crypto mixers to wash stolen funds, making the money vanish like smoke. The scale is staggering. Recent security reports show that global losses to these ghost operations now exceed billions of dollars every single year. For decades, the hunt for the ghost became an international obsession. In intelligence warfare, uncertainty is poison. And the ghost was the ultimate dose. Every failed lead and every botched operation deepened the mystery. The CIA and Mossad were used to winning. But in Beirut, they were losing control of the narrative. Mugnier manipulated their electronic interceptions, feeding them a curated stream of misinformation. He led them into booby-trap buildings designed not to kill, but to humiliate. In cybersecurity, we call this a honeypot, but Mugnier was doing it with real lives and real safe houses. He made his enemies fight themselves. Internal investigations began in Langley as paranoia festered. The ghost had achieved the rarest strategic advantage. He made the world's most powerful agencies mistrust their own shadows. It finally ended in 2008 Damascus. A joint CIA-Mossad operation that required months of surveillance and a custom-built explosive hidden in a spare tire, but as we often see in a cybercrime documentary, removing the architect doesn't destroy the building. His death didn't close a chapter. It opened a new era of sophisticated warfare. His doctrine of compartmentalization and psychological invisibility became the curriculum for a new generation. He didn't outgun his enemies. He outlasted them. So, how do we fight an enemy that doesn't want to be seen? How do you protect yourself from the digital ghosts of today who want to target your bank account? Whether it is a state-sponsored actor or a dark web scammer, they all rely on one thing: your patterns. If you move in a straight line, you are easy to hit. Here is your digital sleuth security protocol for the modern age. First, embrace zero trust. In Mugnier's world, no one knew the whole plan, and you should treat your data the same way. Verify every request. If your boss or your bank emails you asking for an urgent transfer, stop. Verify through a different channel before you click anything. Next, break the digital trail. Use multi-factor authentication on every single account. It is the digital equivalent of a guarded checkpoint that a phantom cannot easily bypass. Use pattern randomization. If you use the same password for everything, you are giving the hackers a map to your entire life. Use a password manager to keep your digital identity unpredictable. Finally, stay informed. Cybersecurity isn't a product you buy. It is a mindset. Understanding how the terrain has changed is your best defense. Imad Mugnier was a man shaped by a city drowning in war, but the ghost of Beirut became a symbol of a universal truth. You cannot defeat an opponent you do not understand. As we move deeper into an era of AI-powered attacks and global fraud, remember the lesson of the shadows. Your privacy isn't just a right, it is your armor. If you found this investigation into the shadows of espionage and cybercrime informative, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We have a lot more untold stories from the dark corners of the web coming your way. This is the Digital Sleuth. Signing off. Stay safe. Stay anonymous. And I will see you in the next one.